Yeah, there's no question because it's a really unique opportunity in that we're going to be training in the same facility right next to our Olympians and our Olympic head coach, Coach Karai, and his staff. And so it's a very collaborative week to 10 days. You know, every day our staffs will be sitting down together and to be able to share ideas and learn from, you know, the best in the world is something that I'll really relish.
What kind of preparation do you put into going before you go into Anaheim about, you know, hey, we're going to do this, communicate with the other coaches about a game plan, and what sort of things do you offer in that?
Well, some of it you're a little blind going in, but you know, a couple years back I worked with our junior national team for a week, and that was very, very helpful in preparing me for this because more than anything else, you're just trying to learn, you know, the USA way. You know, the way they teach things, their terminology, their system, things of that nature. And, you know, I've said many, many times that, you know, coaching is not necessarily X's and O's. It's communication and, you know, all those other kinds of things. And so I've had to spend some time learning the terminology and the X's and O's and stuff of USA Volleyball. But from there, it's just coaching kids, and I'm looking forward to it.
That part alone, you know, the USA way, I guess. How different is that than maybe the way that you've sort of coached in time? What have you learned from that specifically?
Yeah, some of it's quite different, and some of it's very similar. You know, there's things that my 5'11" athletes can't quite do that their 6'5" kids can, and you know, so there's some different things there. The speed of it is a little bit different. The speed of the game is a little bit different at that level, and you know, but in a week's time, in a week's training leading up to all of this, I mean, you're not changing a whole lot. It's more about just taking a group of kids and building them into a team and learning along the way.
Anytime you come back from something like this, do you take a piece of advice, a coaching tip, and bring that for your kids?
Yeah, always. It's really reinvigorating for me, you know, having done this for 25 years and done it, you know, 24 years, going into my 25th year, and have done it all here at Western Kentucky, that, you know, when I go do something like that, I come back and I'm re-energized, I think, because inevitably there's times when you see things in a different way or you hear a different way of saying something, and I always find that I can't wait to get back in our gym with our kids because, you know, as I talked about, the size is different with the athletes in a lot of ways, but the game is not. And so there are many things that translate, and anything that can make me better is something that I'm still looking for.
If it is different, how is your approach different going to it this time than the first one a couple years ago when you were with the junior team?
Well, I think the thing I learned is just, you know, that they're still just volleyball players. You know, they're still just young women. They're, you know, they still have the same insecurities in some ways, and you know, they still want to learn, and you know, and so I think I go into it, you know, a lot more confidently the second time. I think anybody would tell you that that's the case, because you go in understanding that the things that have made us successful here are things that will translate at any level, you know, and so I go in confidently knowing that that although I'm going there in many ways to learn, that I also have some things to offer.
Travis, the bond you have with Christy and Craig is tight. You know, I know you greatly appreciate them, but when you're out there and that past experience and the experience kind of coming up, do you kind of recall things how Craig and Christy act towards you, and like, for example, when to approach you and when not to approach you? Does that question make sense?
Yeah, it does. It's, you know, it's that dynamic is fun for me. It's fun to be in a different setting with different coaches, and you know, we've worked together. My staff and I've worked together so long that we kind of know when and how and where we're going to do everything. And so, you know, to be in a setting where it's more of a give and take, and you know, with different ideas and different ways of doing things. You know, you talked about, do I bring things back with me? You know, that's my favorite meeting, is the first meeting I have with our staff when I get back, because, you know, they're lifelong learners as well, and we're all trying to better this program every day, and this certainly is a unique opportunity to do that.
Travis, I know you love this university, so what does it mean that you're able to represent Western on such a large
Yeah,
scale?
that's something I'm really proud of, because, you know, these opportunities don't come along very often, and I think what it speaks to, you know, for USA Volleyball to reach out and want to include me in something like this is a respect level that they have for what our program has grown into. And I think that's one of the things that makes me the most proud is, from the time I took over this program 24 years ago, I always believed that this place could be special in the sport of women's volleyball. And, not in my wildest dreams 24 years ago did I believe that I would ever wear USA across my chest and coach a sport. But it's been a slow grind over that course of time. And now I think it's recognized at the highest level that we're playing this game at a high level, and we're teaching it at a high level, and we're competing at a high level. And so this opportunity to me is a statement to every kid that's ever come through this program and played, and all the accomplishments that we've been able to have through that time.
You mentioned you're heading into your 25th season here on the Hill. Has that really sunk in yet?
Not really. Sometimes it feels like 75, and sometimes it feels like 3. It's been a journey for sure, but it's I'm really blessed to be here and to see this thing turn into what it's turned into here on the Hill. I think is something that has been rewarding and continues to be very rewarding.
Travis, you're the first head coach here that, on a different subject, I know you won't mind talking about him, since the release came out about Dr. Caboni being on the Conference USA Executive Committee. I can see your reaction. You're really happy about that.
Well, I am, because I think what we've come to know is that Dr. Caboni is a champion for athletics, and he understands the value of athletics within the university framework. And for him to have a voice in that setting, and for Western Kentucky to have a voice in that setting, I think is something that can only benefit us, and will certainly benefit this league as well.